but I think his best form's on soft ground. I think he's a definite chance, provided they put some pace on for him.
James, what about Odeon? The winner Caulfield looks better by the day with dodging bullets. He was good here on Tuesday, but gee, it's a big step up.
It is, and he was put in a real perfect spot by Chris Symons on Tuesday. That was on the minimum, so he goes obviously Wait for Age. He's going to have to carry a lot more weight against a stronger field. He'll get a good spot again from the gate, but I just think the class might test him.
Richo, Robbie Lang has interesting programs for his horses. We've discussed it before. I mean, he's a great trainer, but this bloke, 2,000 metres, he's got good form, hasn't he?
Yeah, he does. I'm confused whether he's a sprinter miler or whether he's a stayer. We'll find out today. I thought he was actually okay in the Cantala. He backs up. Wait for Age is the test, though.
Cheska will be fascinated. Now, the Taj Mahal, we haven't seen enough of him at Caulfield. We really don't know. How does he measure up off Europe?
One to line up really, because his best performance during the season was over in America in the Secretariat Stakes, where he was second, and let me just get out of the way, and from his 17 career starts he's only won the one race, so you wouldn't really say he's a winner, and off his only performance in Australia it doesn't give you a huge match to be confident of. He is sweating up quite badly. He is the son of Galileo, so we forgive him that, and he's got the blinkers on for the first time, looking for a bit of improvement.
The only thing I'd say about the European form, the two runs that he was actually run when he wasn't treated as a pacemaker, he actually ran really well. And that was the Secretariat and also the Irish Champion Stakes. Now, they're putting the blinkers on today. The stable's saying he'll put his best foot forward. He's certainly on his toes.
He has a lot of heat under the saddle. Samavari's the one mare in the race, decided not to go to the matriarch, but she comes here. Look, it would be a surprise. David Hayes won this race way back in 1990. And then Cliff's Edge, well, he's fascinating. Casual Pass won the race in 2003 as a 3-year-old, and then you've got to go back about another 60 years. It's not easy to do, but he does have the right profile. He'll go forward. He's got the big weight relief. You would not knock him. And Dean Yendel's great on this sort of horse. And Darren Weir, well, I don't have to say much more than that. Richo, all in all, it's intriguing.
It is intriguing. I'm with Toast and Stardom at a price, James.
Yeah, I was originally with Ginger Nuts, but just the way the track's playing, it's so hard to make ground. I think Toast and Stardom from gate 4 might be a couple of lengths closer, so I've swayed to your corner, Richard.
All right, the pick of the yard for you.
Loyal, all of you.
Oh, sorry.
You've got a runner. Yes, yeah, well, I'd love Gellershop to win. Obviously, there's a few concerns with him, but I think the 3-year-old, Cliff's Edge, he feels like the fresh horse coming into this, hasn't had those gut-busting runs that a few of them have. Ginger Nuts, I think he preferred a cut on the ground, so with that really light weight, Cliff's Edge is probably the one.
Now, Jared, where's the market support for the big one?
Oh, certainly with Ginger Nuts, Richo, more than a third of the hold is for this Kiwi, but Folkeswood has just gone $5 to $4.60 to be outright favourite. And there will Darren Weir's charges, they're firming. Cliff's Edge 11 into 9 and Toes and Stardom $9.50 to $8.50. Now this race does qualify for our insurance offer. You have a tab fixed odds win bet on this race. Your horse runs second or third as cash back up to $50. But Bruce, certainly Ginger Nuts our worst way here, but Folkeswood is firming.
Good stuff. We'll get that hot horse and Michelle's thoughts after this for the Emirates. It was billed as one of the biggest sprint races we've seen in Melbourne in a long time in terms of the quality. The Darley Classic today, Wait for Age, $1 million up the straight. The Great Chautauqua, Terra Vista back. They were both in their third Darley Classics. Red Zell was going for 6 in a row. He's really on a big stretch. He went out in front. Impending was the first to challenge Terra Vista, the last. Chautauqua was fourth. For these colourful owners of this incredible horse, and he is an incredible horse, and with these 6 consecutive wins, we see Kathy Payne there, or Kathy McAvoy, and have a look at that. And the 3 young boys, and Red Zell being successful. So a great day for the McAvoys, a great day for Red Zell's camp and the Darley Classic. So we move on from the Darley Classic to the Emirates. Now I think there's, unfortunately, there's a real problem with Ginger Nuts here. Now he's going to be late scratching.
Well, that's a development, isn't it? On the way down, it's unusual to have an issue with a horse on the way down, but let's hope there's nothing too serious, but be a loss to the quality of the field to not have Ginger Nuts in there.
I mean, the connections have brought the horse over here. He missed the Caulfield Cup. He's come over.
He's been unsaddled, and they seem to be inspecting the near foreleg, so he's definitely out of the race, but we'll wait to hear the severity of the injury.
That's a very unusual thing to happen on the way down to the start. That doesn't happen. Oh, he's clearly lame. He's quite sore. He may have just whacked himself on the just given it a whack with another foot. But let's just hope that's all it is.
Jared, that's going to make a massive difference to the market. I know I put you on the spot here, but that really changes things, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just going to have to be recalibrated as it stands, and there'll be the deductions for the scratching there. Look, the hot horse will be Cliff's Edge, number 15. It could have been either of Darren Weir's runners here. Toes and Startup also being a firmer, but the 3-year-old is the hot horse, and our bookie's just recalibrating that market at the moment.
And as we can see, he's an equal favourite at the moment on the tote with him in the race, but he's going to come out, Ginger Nut, so that's a real shock, and we're all just hoping the horse is going to be okay. So hopefully it's not a major thing. It's a thing that's just come at the wrong time for him, and he can recover quickly. So we'll be on top of that.
And now the horses are circling behind the barriers. Does this cause a delay?
Well, it will, I would imagine. Here comes the signal. We're already half a minute behind starting time, so I guess for sure. So the horse will be taken away, obviously, and we're in a shoot here, aren't we? Not that far from where we are at the moment, to be honest.
I think the only fortunate thing is they found this before the race. You'd hate the horse to go into the gates and run with a problem like that. They've discovered it before he goes in the gates, and he'll get the best of veterinary care.
It is most unusual. I don't think I've ever heard of anything like this happening before a race, but like you say, lucky he hasn't been able to take his part.
Now the horse ambulance is going to take him off the track, so obviously they don't want to walk him back, they want him to be floated back, so obviously it's quite a serious problem.
So the delay will continue. Oh, racing, eh? I mean, Steve Autridge, half hour ago was revelling in the fact they had a Group 1 winner in New Zealand today. This horse was in great form and everything was going so well, and the near side 4 by the look of it?
Yeah.
I think they're bandaging both front legs to support both legs. It's a little concerning.
Because the 2,000-metre starter is really close to the mounting yard, so they wouldn't really have had very far to go to get there. But he would have had a little warm-up canter on the way down, and that's probably when the issue would have.
No, they're actually only doing the near side front at the moment. So obviously, but they are putting on a very big support bandage there. So the vets are concerned that he needs support in that leg to get him onto the float.
Richo, can you hear me? Yeah, Richo, where are you, mate?
Well, I'm in the mounting yard, Bruce. I'm with Steve Autridge. Steve, shocking luck there. He looked to be warming up perfectly. What happened?
Yeah, no, I don't know yet. I saw him canter off, and I thought he was going down as good as he's ever gone. And then they just showed another shot. He was cantering beautifully and then faltered very seriously. So, hey, he wasn't going very fast, so God knows what's happened.
Oh, it's so sad for you, mate. Thanks for taking the time. It's been a tough day.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Steve and Jason. Yeah. So, yeah, well, I think we're all in a bit of shock, to be truthful, aren't we? I mean, so hopefully there's a good outcome with this. So Ginger Nut's going down to the barrier and has had to be scratched, and he's obviously got an injury that is concerning. It's as simple as that, isn't it?
It sounds like a freak injury too.
Yeah.
He's only cantering the horse. Very few injuries occur at the canter. In fact, hardly ever. And this is some sort of freaky thing. He's put his foot down the wrong way. It could have happened in a paddock, I suppose.
You know what happened with so in quarantine at Werribee, one of Hugo Palmer's horses, Mask of Time, pulled up from a canter, extremely lame, like hopping lame. They thought, gosh, we've got a major issue here, and went back to the stables and recovered miraculously quickly. They couldn't work out what it was, and he'd actually burst a blood vessel in the knee, and it had gone into the joint capsule, which apparently is extremely painful for the horse. So they look like they've done a serious injury, and now he's essentially 100% fine. So we're hoping it could be something very unusual like that. Mask of Time that day took a strange sideward step, which they think might have caused the injury. So, what other explanations can there be?
Well, yeah, it could be as simple as like spraining your ankle. He could have put his foot down wrong and just tweaked it the wrong way, and it could be as simple as that. So hopefully it is something very minor like that, which you would think, having only going so steady to the barriers, it couldn't be too serious, but I'm sure we'll find out.
Look, I just want to go back to Jared at the tab because this is a massive change. This horse was about a $4.70 equal favourite. What's the repercussions of him coming out?
Yeah, so deductions for scratchings, 12 cents the win, 10 cents the place, Bruce. And the recalibrated market has Folkeswood, the $3.70 favourite, with tab fixed odds from Tozen Startup at $6.50, Cliff's Edge and Gallo Shop 7 each of 2.
And the hot horse still Cliff's Edge?
Yeah, still Cliff's Edge. Good money coming for it. And, well, Folkeswood and Cliff's Edge, it's about dollar for dollar between those two.
So, with Ginger Nuts out, it's hard to get your head around that. But, I mean, he wasn't going to make the pace in the race. He was probably going to be 4th, 5th or 6th. So I don't think it changes the way the race will be run.
No, I don't think so. There are a few that do tend to push forward, Gallo Shop being one of them. Folkeswood's fairly adaptable. He can go forward if he needs to. I wonder if we'll see some of our head forward from the wide barrier in 13. And the 3-year-old Cliff's Edge does tend to go forward. So they'll work it out once they jump from the barriers, and hopefully there'll be a nice pace, but nothing breakneck.
This sort of delay actually tests the temperament of the horse.
Well, the Taj Mahal I'm thinking about, he was really hot, wasn't he, in the mounting yard?
He was. I mean, you do tend to ignore it a little bit when they're a progeny of Galileo, because they all do that. You know that really good horse, Highland Reel?
Yeah.
Well, he's got a full brother called Idaho. When they came into the mounting yard at Epsom to run in the coronation, they were both absolutely awash with sweat, and they both ran well as a result.
And he would replace you. I'm so excited to ride for Steve Autry because he was an apprentice there a few years ago. And Michelle, there's a connection. Just as a jockey, do you try and keep the weight off the horse? I mean, you've been around at the barrier for a long time now, haven't you?
Ideally, you'd love to jump off and let one of the barrier attendants walk your horse around, so you can keep the weight off, but it has to be fair. Every rider has to stay.
There are countries where the jockeys do jump off and lead the horse around. The danger with that, of course, Michelle, is if the horse treads on your foot, you're only virtually wearing a leather sock. So
you tend to keep your feet out of the way, though.
Happy Clapper getting a little bit warm. Folkeswood looks relatively calm. But yes, this is a delay. Horses, once they get to the barriers, especially these older horses, they know what they're here for. They would get there, their adrenaline's up. There is Somewhat, who seems to be fairly warm as well.
Folkeswood was just resting his leg. He's so calm.
What he's doing. But yes, this delay does definitely affect them.
You see the jockeys there walking around with their legs out, it's just dangling down. That can be a good way to get your horse to relax and to sort of just let down and wander around, because they feel like your feet aren't in the irons and you're not ready for racing. So if you see the jockeys walking around, that's generally why, or sometimes it's to give your hips a little bit of a relief, because having them up in that position can be can be quite painful as well.
The horse ambulance now just leaving the course, so Ginger Nuts in the back there. He'll go straight to a veterinary clinic where they'll fully examine him. He would have had painkillers on board by now, I would say, and he'll get the absolute best of veterinary care.
So we've all got our fingers crossed here. Just with the jockey, I mean, the mouth will be getting a bit dry. You'd be swigging a little bit of water if you're able to, or not, or is that?
Yeah, definitely. There's always water on hand behind the barriers, and depending on whether you can have a sip or not, you'll either have a little one or just wet your mouth and spit it out. Yeah, basically.
It doesn't make that much difference. You see the jockeys take a sip of water, swill it around, spit it out. It makes that much difference.
Oh yeah, sometimes your mouth's that dry, you can't even get a word out.
If they came back in with a gulp of water, it could affect the weight.
Yeah, definitely. If it's a fine line, you can't take that risk.
So just final thoughts. Firstly, you, Richard.
I think Folkeswood.
Well, obviously my heart's with Gallo Shop, but my head's worried about Cliff's Edge.
I'm with Tozen Stardom.
You, Bruce?
I'm Gallo Shop. And not because you own him. I want him to win for you, but I also think that I hope Johnny Allen, who hasn't ridden him in a race before, I don't think he has he, Johnny Allen?
I think he has. Johnny Allen was on him when he won over in Adelaide.
There you go. In the penny edition. I am from Adelaide. Well, I'm even more confident. Anyway, it'll be a challenge for all jockeys because the pace will be on, and I just don't want Gallo Shop to go too hard too early. That's what I'd be telling Johnny Allen. So we've had a sensation, haven't we, before the Emirates Stakes? The unfortunate scratching of Ginger Nuts. We are thinking about him and hoping that it will turn out to be all right. This is the second richest race run at Flemington for the season, only behind the Melbourne Cup. So a couple to come up. Let's go to Matt Hill for his call. I'll get to Richo in just a sec. So back comes Corey Brown. So the crowd today, 68,000, 327,000 for the weekend. really looking forward to next year with a new grandstand. It's going to have another dimension again completely to this incredible carnival that we have.
That's the thing with Flemington. There's always something bigger and better around the corner. We had the park opening last year. This is in its second year, and to have this brand new grandstand next year is just going to take it to another level. And it's that foresight, it's the innovation, it's keeping a step ahead of everything else that really keeps Flemington on the centre of the world stage.
Chris Symons joins us. Chris, by the way, great ride on Odeon. I thought you were nearly going to win the Group 1 today.
I got a little bit excited, Bruce. You know, we ended up in a beautiful spot. We tracked into it nicely. At the top of the straight, he just found it wanting and he just struggled late.
Well done, mate. We've had such a great reaction from all around Australia for what you've done, not only on the track, but the interviews have been terrific. Thank you so much.
It's been fantastic. I've had a ball, and so have the boys in the jockeys' room. So.
Absolutely. Richo, over to you, mate.
Oh, hasn't it been great fun having Chris Symons part of our team? Over 68,000 here, so today 300,000 plus throughout the 4 days, which is remarkable because we don't even have a grandstand for the members. Hey, the fallout from the sprint's interesting. Terra Vista, brilliant. Joe Pride just saying, thank God I didn't retire him. I convinced the owners not to retire him. He's going so well, he ran second. Impending, terrific. Chautauqua, he's pulled up perfectly. And can you believe it? This will be mouthwatering for you, Bruce. He will be aimed at an unbelievable fourth TJ in the autumn. Redkirk Warrior, Vega Magic, they raced a little bit flat. Malaguera jarred up. Katie Mallion gets an 11-meeting suspension as we build up on 7 towards next week at Sandown. And for Ginger Nuts, well, our hearts and thoughts are with Ginger Nuts. He's in the best care possible at the Werribee Vet Clinic at the moment.
Did Joe Moreira ride a winner in Hong Kong today?
Can you believe how tough these jockeys are? You've been alongside both Chris Symons and also Michelle Payne. Just a reminder how tough they are. Joe Moreira on Tuesday was trampled. He had unbelievable bruising. He couldn't ride in Hong Kong on Wednesday. To ride today, and he's just ridden a winner. What a star.
I think he's the magic man. There you go. Well done, Richo. Superb job. So the final event on the program, and Kentucky Breeze getting the money over Murakeb, and also Saccone with Mr. So-and-so in fourth place. Let's go out to Hamish, and I think he's with Will, who got us off to a great start today.
The sun's setting in the west. The horses are done. The shadows are a little bit longer, Will. I ask you before you disappear, what's been the highlight of your day?
Probably Red Zell winning the Darley Classic. It was a very good run. He's a very classy horse. He's a very good sprinter.
Not often you tip the winner of $1 million race. You did that today.
No.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
What about meeting Bruce McAvaney, the legend that he is?
Yeah, very good.
He looked after you?
Yeah.
Righto. I enjoyed seeing Bruce McAvaney cry on national television with laughter. That's always a nice thing, isn't it?
Yeah, very.
Well, thanks for joining us today. You've had fun?
Yeah, very much.
You're welcome back next year.
Thank you.
Bang.
He might be too old next year. He'll be 13. No, he's a beauty, young Will. We absolutely love him. So the dividends in the final event today, I'm thrilled for Levi Kavanagh. I mean, Mark has had some tough times over the last 2 or 3 years, but for this horse, Kentucky Breeze, to win the final event on the program. So we'll go back to the Darley for a moment. The sustained speed from Red Chris, was just so impressive.
Well, I think the outside definitely had the advantage, and you know, we saw the outside dominate.
Yeah, well, he had Terra Vista chasing at him, and he couldn't quite get to him, and Impending ran well as well. So a great run, a great ride, and right now he's with all due respect to every other horse in Australia, he's probably number 2 to Winks in terms of how we analyse and how we know a horse.
What about Kieran McAvoy? What a carnival he's had.
Absolutely. I mean, really, from that Everest Stakes day on. And now for the stakes, Damien Lane was in trouble. You rode a magnificent race. He came off your heels on Odeon. You're the white blaze here, Chris. What was it like when he went past you, mate?
He gave me windburn, Bruce, but if you go back at the top of the straight, he was taking a run in between myself and Kieran McAvoy, and the run closed. So the stewards are actually giving me daggers at the moment because I think I'll be in there for a little while tonight.
Okay. Anyway, for Frosty, well, it was anything but. It was so hot. Hey,